The newest name in the trade rumor mill for the Calgary Flames is quite a surprising one, and it's safe to say that we could have a shocking trade incoming. Elliotte Friedman revealed that the Flames could be interested in a certain player that wants out of Tampa Bay, but in this video we will dissect these rumors and decide if this trade has any sort of validity and makes sense at all for the Calgary Flames. Welcome to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can join the fastest growing community of Flames fans on the internet, and so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around the Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. But without further ado, let's get into this target that was revealed. And if you couldn't quite tell who that man was from the thumbnail, don't you worry. We'll be getting right into it. And let's take a little dive into this article here from the Hockey News, written by Michael DeRosa this morning. Lightning tough guy linked to Flames. One NHL insider views this Lightning forward as a possible target for Tanner Jeannot. Yes, Tanner Jeannot is the man going around. And real quick, I gotta say, anytime the Lightning are involved in a Flames video, you gotta bring this up. Okay, it was in. I'm glad we got that off our chest. We all know we won the cup in 2004. I'm sorry, Tampa Bay. We still hate you for that. But anyway, let's get into this article a little more. Tanner Jeannot linked to the Flames. Wow. Jeannot is starting to create some more chatter on Monday's edition of 32 Thoughts, the podcast. NHL insider Elliotte Friedman, get the free bomb going. That was a little early there. Oh boy. Anyway, NHL insider Elliotte Friedman said this about Jeannot as a potential trade candidate. I got a couple of calls from people saying that's going to be one to watch. There are a lot of teams out there that see something in Jeannot, and they think he's more of the player that he was in Nashville than in Tampa Bay. What a mistake saying, oh, we think this player is who he was back on this team. He'll be putting up the numbers he did back on this team. You think the New York Rangers were saying, look, we know we're going to get the Edmonton Oilers version of Wayne Gretzky, not the St. Louis Blues version. Not that the St. Louis Blues version is bad, or even the New York Rangers version of Gretzky was bad, but obviously he wasn't putting up the numbers he did on the Oilers. Why the heck is it being said, oh, we think he'll be the player he was on Nashville? I don't know. To me, it's not totally outlandish and ridiculous to say that, but look, you gotta look at how this person was recently. You can't just look back at their prime. I mean, we know if the Flames were to acquire, well, look at what just happened with Jonathan Huberdeau. If a team is interested in him, they're not going to be saying, oh, we want the Flames version of him. Of course, they're going to say, we hope he ends up being the Florida version. You got to be realistic and look at who the player is now. Oh, he is the Flames version. Maybe I'm going a little too crazy there, but let's just continue the article. Fellow NHL insider Jeff Marek then brought up a potential trade destination for Jeannot. I wonder if maybe a return to the Western Conference. I've always wondered about Tanner Jeannot and the Calgary Flames. You've always wondered, Marek, what are you dreaming about? But could there be a potential fit there? There's a lot of young players there. You're going to see more of it next season. I just wonder if Tanner Jeannot can be the cop on the beat for the young Flames. Now, I don't hate how he put this, but saying that there's a lot of young players in Calgary is true. And guess what? If you bring in Jeannot, what does that do? It takes away a roster spot, most likely from one of the younger guys, because I'm sure the Flames are going to commit to some of the older veterans as well that could be on the NHL roster, could maybe not be. Guys that come to mind, Kevin Rooney, AJ Greer, guys like that. You bring in a Jeannot, it's almost a similar player to that. I know Jeannot is quite young. He has a young NHL career, but still, you want to give a shot to even some of these more younger guys, because we already kind of had a bit of a cop on the beat in Martin Pospisil. I know Jeannot brings a little bit more in certain ways, but I don't know. I'm still a little bit skeptical, but let's give this article a chance here. Jeannot looks like the kind of player that the Flames would love to get on paper. They value toughness and grit, so it would not be the most shocking news if they made a push for him this summer. As Marek noted, they also have gotten younger and are currently retooling. Yes, very true. We all know that that's true. Is Jeannot going to be a solution? I don't know. We'll get into the verdict later in this video, but I don't know. If acquired, Jeannot 26 would be a solid addition to the Flames' bottom six. Oh great, another bottom six player. If he regained his previous scoring touch, he could even flirt with being a middle six power forward on their roster. This will be something to keep an eye on this summer. There's no question that the Lightning need to clear out cap space, and moving a struggling Jeannot makes sense because of it. Let's see if the Flames or any other clubs end up landing him from here. Now, two things I want to dissect from here. The first, of course, being the cap space situation in Tampa Bay. Yeah, they just re-signed, reacquired, I guess you can say, Ryan McDonagh. It'll create some cap issues, and Jeannot will be on the way out. It makes sense, and I'm sure the team that does end up trading for Jeannot, if he does get traded, won't have to give up all that much because they're taking on a pretty dang big contract. Not a huge one, obviously, but Tampa Bay, it's known that they'll want to offload, and if Jeannot is that guy, it will probably come pretty cheap, and maybe you can throw in a pick similar to the Sean Monahan trade to Montreal that Brad Treliving, of course, made. The other thing I want to dissect from that last quote there is, the struggling Jeannot. How many struggling players are being linked to the Calgary Flames? When can we get a link of someone that actually is successful and someone we want? I'm not saying I hate on any of the guys that have been linked to the Flames lately, and some of them are really good, like a Marty Necas, a Chandler Stevenson, and others. But why are we always getting linked to guys who are struggling and need another opportunity? When can someone just want to be here? I just can't wait for that day to be a reality. Anyway, that was the article. So let's get into now the verdict. I'm sure you guys can already tell where I kind of stand on this one. I didn't make it too much of a surprise of how I feel about a potential Jeannot trade. For the right price, I would say maybe, just because he is young and could potentially be a good role player on a contending team. I mean, he's been on some Tampa Bay teams that have at least made the playoffs, not that they've won any rounds since he's been there. But either way, let's get into his stats from this past season with these lovely new graphics here. So he had 7 goals and 7 assists for 14 points in 55 games this past season. Yeah, that is not ideal. And a -10 as well on a Tampa Bay team that really wasn't that bad at all. Now, he only gets about 12 minutes of ice time per night, which obviously isn't loads. And like I said, he's not exactly young. I made it sound like he's a lot younger than he is. Maybe it's just because he's had such a short career so far. He is 26 in 365 days. My math is correct. That means he'll be 27 pretty much right away. He can throw the body around, which is nice. He's blocked 27 shots as well. But a 27-year-old, you'd expect it to be his prime entering, kind of that 27-year age range. I'm not too sure how I feel about it. These stats are woeful. I mean, 14 points in 55 games. Put me on the Flames and I might get more than 14 points. But either way, those stats not overwhelming from this past season. Now, a lot of people will say, look, he wasn't given any ice time and he was on a team on the Tampa Bay Lightning that have too many good forwards at the top. So he's stuck at the bottom there where he shouldn't be. I don't know if that's all that true. Let's take a look at his career stats now. He had one good season with the Nashville Predators in 2021-22 for 41 points and 24 goals in those 81 games, which I say it's a good season. I mean, it's not bad at all. 24 goals is very respectable, but 41 points is this guy's career high. A point every other game pretty much as your career high isn't exactly tremendous. The next season he started it on Nashville as well, didn't get a ton of points, got traded to Tampa, and he's just fallen off a cliff since then. And these numbers aren't eye-popping at all. 80 points in 227 games at the NHL level. It's just really not ideal, and I don't think that's what the Flames are trying to go after right now. Like I said before, if they want a player like Jeannot, they already have Pospisil, who's even younger. I know Pospisil is a little bit injury prone and has the injury scares with his concussion history, and of course his shoulder injury that just happened. But I don't know, you do not need Jeannot. The other thing that scares me a lot about this is what Jeannot was acquired for by the Tampa Bay Lightning. What did Tampa Bay trade away? I don't know if you guys remember this trade. I certainly do, because it was insane at the time and it's even more insane now. But Tampa Bay pretty much gave away their entire future to acquire this guy at the deadline a couple years ago. They traded away Cal Foote, who's a pretty good defensive prospect, not totally panning out, but he has potential. And then pretty much a whole stew of draft picks here. We got a first rounder, a second rounder, a third rounder, a fourth rounder, and a fifth rounder, obviously in different years there. But a first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and a decent prospect just for one guy who ended up giving you almost nothing. That scares me. I hope Tampa Bay doesn't want something back similar to what they traded away. I don't know how they could expect something even remotely close to that back. I don't know what the Flames would be willing to give up in a trade for Jeannot, because it's not like Tampa Bay needs Jacob Markstrom. They don't really need goaltending. I'm not really sure what Tampa Bay needs in order to compete truly in that very tough Atlantic division. But I don't know. I really don't want the Flames to give up any unnecessary picks for this guy. And I don't know. I can't believe that on the 32 Thoughts podcast, they really did link Jeannot to the Flames, because it just doesn't make sense for Calgary. And even that article saying he's the perfect player for the Flames, I don't see it. I think he's too old. I think he's not enough of a producer in terms of points. It just doesn't make sense to me. The verdict is stay away from this guy. Steer clear of Jeannot. Now let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day. Yes, a new little graphic there I made. Hopefully I can make a better one than that, but we'll see. That'll do for now. But it goes with yesterday's video, of course, and let's dive into this comment from Mr. Watt. Monge needs to pick it up this year, or we should trade him. He's taking up a spot that we could be using to develop a younger player. Yes, it was great to hear Mangiapane's comments after the IIHF World Championships, but it really, doesn't translate to the NHL level all that much. He had a rough season, and a lot of people do not love his game. I really like the guy, but I've never been a huge Mangiapane guy on the ice. I do like him, and I hope it works out. But honestly, if he's going to be taking up a roster spot that could be given to a player that needs a bigger opportunity and could develop a younger guy, give it to him instead. Trade away Monge for what you can. Maybe his trade value will be up after the World Championships, so why not trade him away? Thank you so much for commenting that. Please make sure you comment below if you want to be featured in a future segment of the comment of the day. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and have a wonderful rest of your day.